This video has been brought to you by the Ethical Standards Board of ICAI on FAQs on Director Simplicitor and Independent Director. Let's start with FAQ number 1. Whether a member in practice can become an independent director of a company? The answer is, a member in practice is permitted generally to be a Director Simplicitor, which includes an independent director. Such director should not be the managing director or whole-time director and is required only in the board meetings of the company and is not paid any remuneration except for attending such meetings. Specific permission of the council is not required in this regard. FAQ 2 asks whether a member in practice can become a Director Simplicitor of a company. The answer is, a member in practice can become a Director Simplicitor of a company. The expression Director Simplicitor means an ordinary or simple director who is not a managing director or a whole-time director and is required only in the board meetings of a company and is not paid any remuneration except for attending such meetings. The third FAQ is whether a member in practice can become a managing director or a whole-time director of a company. The answer is no. Members in practice are not allowed to become managing director or whole-time director of a company generally. A member in practice may become a managing director or a whole-time director of a company after specific and prior permission of the council. However, he shall not be entitled to perform any attest functions. Further, as per the guidelines for practice and corporate form of practice, members in practice can hold the office of managing director, whole-time director, or manager of a body corporate within the meaning of the Companies Act 1956, provided that the body corporate is engaged exclusively in rendering of management consultancy and other services permitted by the council under Section 2, Subsection 2, Clause 4 of the CA Act 1949. After the approval of the name of the management consultancy company by the institute, such company has to be registered with the institute. FAQ number 4. Whether a member in practice can become a managing director or a whole-time director in a company registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013? The answer is, a member in practice can accept the position as a managing director or a whole-time director in a company registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013, provided his position is honorary and the company is of charitable, educational, or non-commercial in nature. The fifth FAQ is whether a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor can participate in policy or financial decisions of a company during meetings. The answer is yes. A member in practice being a Director Simplicitor can participate in the policy or financial decisions of the company during meetings, but he should not execute the said decisions or get involved in day-to-day business or affairs of the company. The sixth FAQ asks whether a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor can operate the accounts of the company. The answer is no. A member in practice being a Director Simplicitor cannot operate the accounts of the company. Moving on to the seventh FAQ. Mr. B, a member in practice who is the Director Simplicitor of PQR Private Limited Company, can affix the common seal of the company to a company document and draw or endorse check on the account of the company. Is it permissible? The answer is, a Director Simplicitor may affix the common seal of a company if it is a part of statutory requirement of the director. However, such director is not permitted to endorse or sign checks on account of the company. Next is FAQ number 8. Whether a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor can sign the financial statements and other statutory documents of the company. The answer is, a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor can sign the financial statements and other statutory documents of the company as required to be signed by the director while discharging his statutory obligation. FAQ number 9 asks whether a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor in a company can draw remuneration from the company. The answer is, a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor in a company may receive remuneration for attending the board meetings of the company. FAQ 10 is, Mr. R, a full-time practicing member being Director Simplicitor in ABC Company, can sign ROC forms of the company. The answer is no. It is not permissible for a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor in a company to sign ROC forms of the company as it is a direct conflict of role. The 11th FAQ asks whether a member in practice being a Director Simplicitor or his relatives can hold substantial interest of the company. The answer is yes. A member in practice, being a Director Simplicitor and or his relatives, can hold a substantial interest in a company. The FAQ 12 asks whether a member in practice can become a Director Simplicitor of a company if he or the chartered accountant's firm wherein he is a partner or any partner of the said firm is interested in such company as an auditor. The answer is no. A member in practice cannot become the Director Simplicitor of a company if he or the chartered accountancy firm wherein he is a partner or any of the partner of the said firm is interested in such company as an auditor. The 13th FAQ asks whether a member in practice who earlier held the position of Director Simplicitor or Independent Director in a company accept audit assignment of the company after completion of his tenure as a director. The answer is no. As per the commentary under Clause 4 of the Part 1 of the second schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, appearing in the Volume 2 of Revised Code of Ethics 2020, a member shall not accept the assignment of audit of a company for a period of 2 years from the date of completion of his tenure as a director or resignation as the director of the said company. Moving on to FAQ number 14. Whether appointment of an independent director on company's board is mandatory. The answer is, as per Section 149, subsection 4 of the Companies Act 2013, every listed public company shall have at least 1/3 of the total number of directors as independent directors, and the central government may prescribe the minimum number of independent directors in case of any class or classes of public companies. The 15th FAQ is whether appointment of women director on company's board is mandatory. The answer is, as per the second proviso to subsection 1 of section 149 of the Companies Act 2013, such class or classes of companies as may be prescribed shall have at least one woman director. Rule 3 of Companies Appointment and Qualification of Directors Rules 2014 prescribes the classes of companies as referred to in Section 149 of the Companies Act 2013 on which this provision is applicable. FAQ number 16 asks whether a member in practice who was the auditor of a company can accept the position of independent director after completion of audit assignment. The answer is no. As per Section 149, subsection 6, Clause E, Part 2, A and B of Companies Act 2013, a member in practice who was the auditor of a company cannot accept position of an independent director within 3 years from the completion of the audit assignment. Next is FAQ number 17. Whether a member in practice can use the designation of director of a company. The answer is no. As per the commentary under Section 7 of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, appearing in the Volume 2 of the Code of Ethics 2020, the members of the Institute who are also directors in companies are not permitted to mention these positions, as these would be violative of the provisions of Section 7 of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Moving on to FAQ number 18. Whether a firm of chartered accountants can undertake the assignment of management consultancy services of a company where a partner of the said firm is a Director Simplicitor. The answer is yes. It is permissible for a firm of chartered accountants to undertake the assignment of management consultancy services of a company where a partner of the said firm is a Director Simplicitor. Next is FAQ 19. Whether a member in practice can be a director in a cooperative bank. The answer is yes. A member in practice may be a Director Simplicitor in a cooperative bank, provided he is not in charge of the executive functions, or he or the chartered accountancy firm wherein he is a partner, or any of the partner of the said firm are not interested in the bank as an auditor. Next is FAQ number 20. The offer document of a listed company in which Mr. B is a Director Simplicitor mentioned the name of Mr. B along with his professional attainments and specialization on the field and the name of chartered accountancy firm wherein he is a partner. Is he liable for misconduct? The answer is yes. As per Clause 7 of Part 1 of the first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949 and the commentary appearing in Volume 2 of Code of Ethics 2020, the use of expression chartered accountant is permissible. However, the member must ensure that descriptions about his expertise, specialization, and knowledge in any particular field or other appellations or adjectives are not published with his name. Particulars about directorship held by the member in other companies can, however, be given, but the name of the chartered accountancy firm in which the member is a partner should not be given. It is advisable for a member that as soon as he is appointed as a director on the board of a company, he should specifically invite the attention of the management of the company to the aforesaid provision and should request that before any such prospectus or public announcements or public communication mentioning the name of the member concerned is issued, the material pertaining to the member concerned should, as far as practicable, be approved by him. Moving on to the 21st FAQ. Whether it is permissible for a chartered accountant in practice who is a non-executive director in a company to undertake the statutory audit, internal audit, or consultancy work of a joint venture entered into by the said company along with a non-related party? The answer is, a member in practice who is a non-executive director in a company, he or a firm in which he is a partner should not accept the appointment as a statutory auditor of a company which is a joint venture of the original company, as it would impact independence. As regards to the assignment of internal audit or consultation work of such joint venture company, these are management functions and can be accepted. FAQ 22. Can a member in practice be promoter or promoter director of a company? The answer is yes. There is no bar for a member to be a promoter or signatory to the memorandum and articles of association of any company. There is also no bar for such a promoter or signatory to be a Director Simplicitor of that company, irrespective of whether the objects of the company include areas which fall within the scope of profession of chartered accountants. Therefore, members are not required to obtain specific permission of the council in such cases. There is also no bar on holding any number or percentage of shares in the company. The final FAQ is, Mr. A was one of the promoter and the whole-time director of XYZ Private Limited Company and drawing remuneration besides practicing on full-time basis and holding a certificate of practice. Is he liable for misconduct? The answer is yes. Mr. A will be held guilty of professional misconduct. A member in practice is permissible to become a promoter director only. With this, we come to an end to our presentation. Thank you.